and welcome to Tokyo 2020. Great to have you with us as the track and field program continues under clear skies at the National Stadium. Well, javelin, discus and long jump events will kick off the action in the field with a shot put final to follow, and there are plenty of heats and finals on the track as well to keep us busy and you entertained. There was an extraordinary spread of nations taking the gold medals in the earlier session today. Brazil, Mexico, Iran, Chile, Uzbekistan, Great Britain, Tunisia and Sri Lanka all had athletes take Paralympic titles. Quality and depth in para-athletics seems to have extended right around the world. These medals are very tough to win, and there'll be plenty more up for grabs this evening.
There certainly will, and three finals on the track, all in the men's this evening. The men's 100 metres T35 gets us underway at just after 7 o'clock local time, and the Paralympic champion and world champion, the Paralympic record holder Ihor Sviatov, will go in that. Artem Kalashian, who recently set the world record in Europe, will also go in at that. And then later on, we have the men's 100 metres T63. Scott Reardon, the defending champion from Australia, he slipped and stumbled at the beginning last night, managed to go through as a lucky loser, the three-time world champion and Paralympic champion. And then after that, the men's 100 metres T64, Johnny Peacock of Great Britain, the double defending champion in his category in the T64, and then Johannes Flores, the world champion who holds the T62 world record and set a Paralympic record in the heat. So there is loads to look forward to on a magnificent night again at this stadium. And there it is, starting off with the men's javelin throw F64. India will have a big say in what goes on with that, with Australia also with a combatant. The long jump as well taking place later on. Women's 100 metres T11, always an exciting event. The women's 400 metres T12, the opening round of that, Amara Durand, who is the Paralympic and world champion over that 100 and 200 metres will go. It promises to be a magnificent evening and so much to look forward to.
Oh, we certainly do have a packed schedule, so many 100-metre finals. It's going to be fast and furious. We've seen some quick times produced on the track over the last couple of days, and it's just cooled off ever so slightly now as the sun has dropped, and I think this could be the perfect conditions for some more Paralympic records.
Just want to bring you up to date with a little bit of news. From 24 hours ago, we had a men's discus throw F52. It's 30 degrees at the moment and 76% humidity, so it is still very warm for this time of the evening. We're coming up to 7 p.m. Yes, we had the discus throw last night, and there's been a result that's under review. It was won by Peter Kosovic of Poland, and second was Sandor of Croatia. But third place, Vinod Kumar, his classification, there's been a protest about it and a review, and we still don't have a result. The classification observation process is underway, and we'll know eventually. They were hoping to have the presentation, the victory ceremony tonight. It may not happen because we're still getting messages that the review is continuing. No doubt about first and second. It's just the bronze medal that is uncertain at the moment. We've got field events going to get us underway with the men's javelin F64. 10 in this one. Take your pick. Some will have their favourite, no doubt. Roberto Floriani of Brazil holds the F42 record of 56.56. We've got a couple of different categories in this javelin throw. F64, F63 and F44.
Well, it is F44 that have got the world record holder of Sandeep with a 66.18 set at the World Championships back in 2019. So going in as the one to watch, the one to beat in that event.
Some medal presentations will come up shortly, actually. A couple left over from the morning session, the throwing events that finished late. So it won't be too long before we get those underway.
And if you've never seen a Mara Duran race, I should say, the great Cuban, hang around for that.
So here's the field. Brazil, India, China, Iceland represented. Well, these are the world records, sorry, and Paralympic records. That graphic tricks me more than once. Here is the field. And Sumit of India. We've got an entry from Fiji. That's good to see. United States represented, Sri Lanka, India. Anyway, Sumit, the 23-year-old from Sonipat in India, second at the World Championships 2 years ago. Inosi Wulimariewa actually lives in Australia, in Alice Springs, right in the heart of the country, but Fijian born. Michael Gallardo. Not sure who he's acknowledging there, but he's from Bellflower in California. Gulan Kodathawaku from Colombo, fourth in the Asian Para Games, the best of 58.38. 25-year-old from New Delhi, was fourth in Rio, must be some kind of chance here, won the 19 Worlds. Harachigi will be hoping to follow in the footsteps of his teammate Herath from last night, who won his javelin category. Floriani, personal best of 56.56, and a world record. Roman Novak, third at the 2019 Worlds, won the European Championships. Mikhail Burian, formerly of the Czech Republic and now living and competing out of Australia. And Jefferson de Lima with a personal best of 60.29. So 10 in this one. And Sumit will be first to throw. They've already had some practice out there, get the feel of the conditions. Very little wind to speak of to influence the flight of the javelin.
We saw some big throws in the warm-up. I reckon we're going to be in for a treat in this men's javelin final. You can just see some of the athletes doing the final phases of their warm-up, but now it's more about the mental preparation, going through the phases in their head. The physical prep has been done.
Sumit has a PB of 62.88, and he's on his way. Oh, he's just smashed his personal best. Really? 62.88 was his PB.
Well, he doesn't seem like he's believing it. We'll wait to get the confirmation.
He's the F64 world record holder. So with the first throw, well, it's 66.95. Oh, my goodness. 4 meters is added to his previous world record. Settle in, folks. We're in for a fun night, I think. Let's go to the track.
Three track finals taking place this evening. The men's 100 metres T35, the first of them. Artem Kalashian, the world record holder, and the reigning champion Ihor Sviatov both go in this one. So 7 to go in this. Hernan Barreto of Argentina will go in lane 2. Bronze medalist in 2013 and 2017 at the Worlds, and bronze in 2016 at the Paralympics. Fabio Bourdignon in lane 8 of Brazil. In 2016, he took silver over the 100 and 200 metres. So he'll be hoping for slightly better this time around. Marshall Zachary took bronze in the Pan American Games in 2019. He'll go from lane 3. Artem Kalashian, the world record holder, who remarkably didn't win silver, or didn't win the championship, sorry, the Europe, when he set that world record. He set it in the heat and then lost the final to this man, Dmitry Safronov, who is the European champion, despite not having the world record. He'll go in lane 4. Ihor Sviatov, the reigning Paralympic and world champion. He's also the Paralympic record holder in lane 6. And in lane 5, 19 years of age, David Zatiev of the Russian Paralympic Committee, who have 3 going in this race. So a stacked field. Safronov, Sviatov, Kalashian, Bourdignon. Chances everywhere. Barreto likes his chances, the Argentine. He'll go in lane 2. Safronov, the European champion. And Sviatov looking to defend that Paralympic title. Well, this man will look to continue Brazil's quite magnificent Paralympic Games so far. Ukraine have 12 gold medals so far, as Ihor Sviatov will look to add to that and make it back-to-back Paralympic championships. He'll have plenty of work to do, though. This is the coordination impairment category, the most coordination impaired category of all. Barreto will go in 2, Zachary in 3, Safronov in 4, Zvatiev in 5, Sviatov in 6, Kalashian in 7, and Bourdignon in 8. And they get away with no problems at all. It is the man on the inside, Safronov, the European champion, who gets away quickest of all. Sviatov's trying to chase him down. It's going to be close on the line. It's Safronov who gets it. Sviatov comes in second. And that is a new world record of 11.39 seconds. Well, I said he didn't get the world record when he won that European gold in Bydgoszcz back in June. But he's only had to wait a couple of months, and he's taken now the Paralympic championship in the T35 category, and he's also taken the world record. Dmitry Safronov, he's a double world champion from 2013 and 15. He's never won the Paralympic title. He has now. 11.39, a new world record for Dmitry Safronov of the Russian Paralympic Committee. Well, what a start he got off to. Sviatov slipped slightly, but Safronov did all the work.
And you saw him just come up out of the block so quickly, and it looked here as though we were going to see a comeback from Sviatov, but just not able to produce the goods in those final few meters. And Safronov finding almost a second wind in those final few strides. Look at the stride length. The Russian, a dive from Sviatov, not enough. But he will still win the silver, as it's all about this man with an absolute dominant performance and a huge world record.
Lifetime best for second and third as well. There is Safronov with that new world record mark of 11.39. Eos Svirtov, the dethroned champion, 11.47, lifetime best for him. And Artem Kalashian, who had the world record, the 24-year-old, 11.75, takes the bronze.
Well, interestingly, the bronze by Kalashian would have been a new record. He actually ran a personal best, like you say, so it just shows the standard of how we are seeing the times absolutely smashed. And this is the first final of the night. We're going to see a few more of those records get broken.
I come to every para championship I go to, whether it's the Europeans, the Worlds, the Parapans, anything it may be, the Paralympics, and you always see numerous records and you wonder when they may stop. Perhaps never. Men's 100 metres T35, the final result, Dmitry Safronov, a world record, takes the gold. Svirtov, the former champion, has to settle for silver. And Kalashian, who had the world record, takes bronze.
We'll go back to the men's javelin. Kodithawaku of Sri Lanka. We've already had a world record with the very first throw, Sumit's 66.95. Encouraging start there from Kodithawaku. He's F44, so he's in a different category to Sumit. And he's thrown a very good opening attempt of 62.11, and that's a Paralympic record for the F44s. What a beginning. Now, Sandeep has a personal best of 66.18.
Well, he's just seen his world record get broken in the first throw, so how can he answer to that? Can he put a challenger down?
Well, he's just passed the 60 metres. Those grey pants he wears, he says he has to wear them every tournament. He's superstitious about them. He thinks they're great, and he's got to have them.
Well, he'll be hoping that they help him get close to the new world record. He'll need a personal best to win.
They'll wear out one day. Hopefully well before his shoulder. Roman Novak of Ukraine. First attempt for him. And about 52.5 to 53 metres. This might have had a minor slip of the footwear there. Now, Michal Burian, born in the Czech Republic, idolised Jan Železny, unsurprisingly, settled in Australia. Personal best of 63.02, and he's right on the 60-metre mark there. And immediately, the pressure put on by Sumit might be having an effect on some of the other fancied throwers.
Well, for Sumit to come out in his very first throw, he's now going to be able to relax a little, and we might even see something even bigger than that. Just getting over the 60-metre mark to open Burian's bid for Paralympic gold.
So it looks a happy, chatty scene up on the terraces. Meanwhile, we can go to Sumit's second attempt. Oh, it's going. Oh, I think it's further. This is unbelievable.
Well, we had the pleasure of seeing that flying through the air in front of us, and it was airborne for a considerable amount of time.
It just wanted to defy gravity, didn't it? 66.95, his first throw for a world record. by 4 meters, and this one, it's got to be close to 68. 68.08. Oh my goodness me.
Well, that is incredible. It puts him almost 6 meters ahead of his closest rival.
And he's added nearly 6 meters, well, 5.7 or so. Anyway, to the world record, let's have a look at our long jump field. This is the T36. Tursunov owns the world record of 5.93, and Evgeny, he is in the field. 10 slotted to start this one. And Roman Pavlik of Ukraine, Young of China, Almeida Ramos of Brazil, athletes from Colombia, Ukraine, Russian Paralympic Committee, New Zealand, Uzbekistan, Brazil again, and Oman. The long jump pit on the far side of the arena to us.
Jumping on one, the 2017 world champion for Ukraine.
Roman Pavlik also has 3 track gold medals from London and Beijing. He was the winner in London in the long jump, 5.23. Young Yifei, 29-year-old from Dali, silver in the 100 meters here in Rio, here in Tokyo. That silver was in Rio. He's 7th in the long jump there. Almeida Ramos. It's a personal best of 6 meters. Omar Acosta Soto. Too much information about Omar, but a PB of 5.43. Litvinenko, 31-year-old from Odessa, 3rd at the 19 Worlds, and he won this year's European Championships with a 5.67. Evgeny Tursunov won the 2015 and 19 Worlds. William Steadman out of Christchurch, the 21-year-old. Was 3rd in the 400 and 800 in Rio and 5th in the long jump. Izat Turgunon, 2nd at the Para Games in Indonesia, 2018. Pereiro de Silva, runner-up at the 2019 Worlds with a 5.58. Taka Al-Harasi from Muscat in Oman, 10th at the World Championships 2019. Personal best of 4.86. It's a pretty strong field. Up the top of the order, Pavlik, the first Ukrainian athlete to win 3 gold medals in athletics. Betty Arachige. Back to the javelin we go. Around 48 meters. Here's a little car to take the javelin back. Arachige sitting in 9th position at the moment. Well, the flame was lit under this event with the very first throw from Sumit through a world record, and then his second attempt bettered it by another 1.5 meters. Extraordinary.
First semi-final of the women's 100 metres T11, complete visual impairment category. World record holder, Arusa Gueber dos Santos of Brazil goes in this. 2016 champion Libby Clegg competing over 204 by 100 universal relay at these championships, so it doesn't start in this competition. And there are only 3 to go. Pabon Mamian, who claimed bronze over 400, is a non-starter. And the first will go through to the final. The heats taking place earlier in the day. So a full program to go through to the final of the women's 100 metres T11. Salvatini Splodore, she's already taken 4th in the long jump at these Paralympic Games. Judith Mariette Lebogue of Cameroon, who represented Cameroon in goalball. This is her Paralympic Games debut. She'll go in lane 1. In lane 3, bronze in 2019 in Dubai, Lorena Salvatini Splodore. And Helusa Gabo dos Santos only made the semi-finals at a home Paralympics in Rio in 2016. She is the Parapan American Games champion though, and also the world champion. $11.85, that world record mark that she set in Sao Paulo in 2019. So a bit of extra time to set the athletes in this complete visual impairment category. The tether will be taken up, as you can see. The athlete will be helped into place if need be. You just see the hand there of Gabo dos Santos just making sure that her guide puts her in the correct position. A lot of pressure on the guides in these events. Need to make sure everything's in place. Lebogue in 1, Salvatini Splodore in 3. Gabo dos Santos is in 5, but they've been asked to stand up. The official is not happy with Lebogue's position.
Well, they do come out onto the track a little bit earlier in the T11 category, so they have a chance to practice their start. So they'll go through the motion with their guide. Once the blocks are set up, they'll get into position, and if they want, they can do a full practice start.
It's a wonderful category to watch, this one. Such trust needs to be placed in the guide. Eye patches are put over the eyes before either sunglasses, as Gabo dos Santos has there, or a mask is worn, just to confirm that they can't see anything. So we're set again. Lebogue in 1, Salvatini Splodore in 3, Gabo dos Santos in 5. This time they do get away, and it's on the outside. It was Gabo dos Santos who got off to a wonderful start, but on the inside of her, Salvatini Splodore, but it is going to be the outside. Gabo dos Santos, in a time of 12.23 seconds, is going to qualify automatically for the final. Well, she got off to a really good start. She was being caught around the 50-metre mark, but she just exploded again. Did the world champion and world record holder. No breeze to really talk of. Didn't make a difference. 12.26, a nice, calm and, I guess you could call it, simple qualification process for her.
Well, she did have a strong start, but it was not really a weak start off anybody in this, and it isn't until these latter stages, the second 50 metres, that we really start to see Gabo dos Santos putting the accelerator on. A strong dip from Salvatini Splodore. She'll know the time will count crossing the line in second. It'll come down to the clock as the next two fastest out of the two heats will make it through to the final.
Well, the athlete has to cross the line before the guide. It happened with no issues there. And a season best for Salvatini Spoladore in second place.
Back to action with the javelin. Michal Burian had a first throw of 60.11. Oh, he's found some improvement there. Never mind the intimidating world record set by Sumit, just do your own job. And he's done that nicely. Really just came to Australia to have a bit of a look and then stayed. And the Australian Paralympic program much boosted by his arrival and his commitment to this sport. 62.86, and he moves into second position. Francisco Jefferson de Lima, former 2 club feet. Out there around 55 metres. Does have a PB of 60.29.
Serious amount of strapping and support on the elbow and some kinesio tape on the shoulder. The amount of stress that goes through a javelin thrower's shoulder is quite incredible. The strength and conditioning work required around training is so important.
Sumit back for a third throw. Dare he break the record a third time? No, not this time. Still very good though, 65. They're still well clear of his pre-existing world record that he came in with for the competition, 62.88. Now he's shattered that with his first 2 throws. His third still would have beaten the old mark. But somehow it looks modest in comparison.
I mean, we can't expect a world record 6 times in one final, can we? We're getting a bit greedy here.
Yeah, but when they start to do that, you start to wonder when it might finish. Kotathawaku. Out past 60 metres for him, and that's a bit of an improvement there. His first was 62.11. He was pushed out of second spot by Burian, and he might have reclaimed it here. It looks past 63 metres. It's vibrating through the night air, that javelin, and I think he's in second now. We're just about at the halfway point of the competition. 63.49. Up into silver medal position for the moment.
Second semi-final in the women's 100 metres T11 complete visual impairment category. Luku Quing, who has taken gold here over 400 metres and claimed bronze in this event back in 2016, will go in lane 3. Linda Patricia Perez-Lopez, her twin sister Alejandra Paula, is also competing. She'll go later in the 400 metre T12 heats. Perez-Lopez was 4th in the 400 metres for her category. There is the lady who won gold over 400 metres in the T11. She was the world champion back in 2015. She's the current Asian champion, Luku Quing. Felita Vittoria Simplicio de Silva claims silver behind Lu in that 400 metres here at these championships. And Juliana Neglea Moko, who was 9th in the 400 metres, has been competing since 2015, the Angolan. So the same situation again. It will just be the first runner who goes through, and then we'll be looking for the next two fastest from there. 12:37 was Salvatini Spoladore's time in second place in the opening heat. So the second of the semi-finals, ready to go. Guides just getting their athletes into place. It'll be Perez Lopez in lane 1, Liu in 3, Simplicio de Silva in 5, Moko in 7. And Liu gets away very quickly indeed. She's in lane 3 there and really flying out in front. She's being caught now on the outside by Simplicio de Silva, and on the inside it's Perez Lopez. Perez Lopez has got there and taken it. 12.29 for the Venezuelan. She snuck up there in the last 10 or 15 metres and she qualifies for the final. New lifetime best of 12.29 for Linda Patricia Perez Lopez. And she's happy about it as well. And why wouldn't she be? Held off Simplicio de Silva. And I wouldn't even say held her off. Just simply overtook her. When it counted, doesn't matter what happens in the race before the end. The two goes across the line first, and it was the Venezuelan Perez Lopez. Lifetime best, 12.29.
She'll be taking some confidence from that, no doubt, through to the final. It was the quickest reaction from Liu out of the blocks, and it looked as though she was going to keep it, but look how late the surge is from Simplicio de Silva. It's just those final 10 metres, if that she comes through. So Perez Lopez holds off. It looked as though Simplicio de Silva was going to come through at the end, but Perez Lopez on those final strides, such a close finish. The closest finish I think we've had in a semi-final here at the Athletics. And that just shows it's going to come down to the times to see if Simplicio de Silva and Liu will make it through. But I'm expecting they have just done enough. We'll get confirmation to you on that in just a moment.
Well, 3/100ths of a second by my reckoning. Jerusa Gabriel Santos will go through from the first, and the top three will all go through from this one. But on the far side there, Perez Lopez, she was going nowhere at the start, and all of a sudden around here, she went with around 25 metres to go. Wonderful camera work. And that is a fantastic shot of the Venezuelan going across in a lifetime best. So Simplicio de Silva and Liu will go through as well because they were quicker than second place in the opening semi-final, which was Salvatini Spoladore. So a very fast semi-final indeed. As we return to the field events and what has been absolutely fantastic in the javelin arena.
Records falling left and right.
It's going to be interesting to see how lucky those trousers can be, because right now it's a little bit more needed from Sandeep. His biggest throw of the evening on his third attempt. That's currently putting him in fourth position.
Men's javelin throw F46. This was an event that took place in the early session today. And we had yet another javelin world record this time from Sri Lanka, Herath Mudi Yanasalagi, through at 67.79. Smashed the old record held by Devendra by almost 4 metres. Devendra having to settle for second, and fellow Indian thrower Sundar Singh Gurjar third.
Accompanied by Chief Executive Officer and President, the Mainichi Newspapers.
Sundar Singh Gurjar had his best throw in the 5th round, a 64.01.
Sundar Singh Gurjar.
Just 10 centimetres short of his career best. He's 2017-2019 world champion. And a season best thrown by him. Must have considered himself a strong chance, but there was one monumental throw from Herath Mudi Yanasalagi that settled this event. Very good event for the subcontinent. India also claiming the silver through previous world record holder Devendra, 40-year-old from Jaipur. He won gold in Rio and Athens. Won the 2013 Worlds. He actually beat his old world record as well with a 64.35. That was his best throw in the 3rd round. Competition was led early on by Herath Mudi Yanasalagi through a 62.58, 62.19 in the 3rd, and then from out of nowhere he produced a massive 67.79 to obliterate the world record formerly held by Devendra. It was 63.97. And that was that. The second half of the competition was rather anticlimactic. No one was going to get near it. He fouled with his 5th attempt and didn't bother to throw a 6th because he had secured the gold. He won the Asian Para Games in Jakarta 2018, and he was 3rd in Rio, twice 2nd at World Championships. Came in with a PB of 61.84 and leaves with a PB of 67.79. Sri Lanka has but one medal at these games so far, and it is Harath's gold. Sri Lanka, India and India. There was a nice moment of camaraderie between these three at the end of the competition. It's just surprising what's happening with these throwing events here at the National Stadium. So many personal bests, Paralympic records being broken, and when world records go, they've often going by 5 or 10% over the previous mark.
Well, this from the women's 100 metres, T11 a little bit earlier. Gabriel dos Santos, the world champion, with the fastest time of 12:26. Spoladore Oliveira in 12:37 in that first one. Lebogue was disqualified on the second one. It was Perez Lopez with a lifetime best who went through, but Simplicio de Silva and Luku Quing also quick enough to make it through to the final. So this is how it looks. Medusa dos Santos goes through fastest, lifetime best for Linda Patricia Perez Lopez. Simplicio de Silva also through with Luku Quing.
Hard to keep cool. Thought the Jamaicans would be used to this kind of heat, but it takes it out of anybody. Keep being reassured the temperature will drop a little.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the men's discus throw F56. Please welcome the medalists.
Men's discus, F56. Claudini Batista dos Santos would prove victorious in this one ahead of Yogesh Kathunia and Leonardo Diaz Aldana of India and Cuba, respectively. Paralympic record set by Batista dos Santos, who also owns the world record. Diaz Aldana.
The medals will be presented by.
He's a winner in Beijing. He's been around a while. 40-87 and London. Double gold medalist.
Nomura Holdings Inc. Accompanied by Chief Executive Officer and President of the Mainichi newspapers. Bronze medalist.
A look at their results over the years. It was no surprise that these three men should make their way to the podium.
Leonardo Diaz Aldana.
As he won in Beijing with 40-87 and London with 44-63. Was third in Rio and a four-time world champion. What a career behind Leonardo Diaz Aldana. Just keeps turning up and performing well. It's 43-36. Best throw came in the third round.
Silver medalist representing India. Yogesh Kathunia.
Kathunia, 24-year-old out of New Delhi. He was third at the 2019 World Championships with a 42.05. Relatively young by throwing standards. These guys can hang around well into their late 30s or even into their 40s, as is the case with Diaz Aldana. So it'll be one to watch in the future. It's 44.38 in the final round. It's just short of his career best. He was still a metre short of Batista dos Santos. Likes the look of that, clearly.
And Paralympic champion, representing Brazil.
金メダリストおよびパラリンピックチャンピオンブラジル
Claudine Batista dos Santos.
So he successfully defends the title he won in Rio, where he threw 45.33. Here it was 45.59. He was fourth in London and has followed that with consecutive gold medals. His impairment came after a motorbike accident in 2005. Double gold for him. And yet again we'll hear the Brazilian national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Brazil.
皆様ブラジル国歌の演奏です
Brazil now with 11 gold medals, 5 silver and 15 bronze. They are 6th on the medal table. Batista dos Santos helping that total with his win in the discus. They give tremendous support in Brazil to athletes with a disability, and it's bringing its reward again in Tokyo. Go back across to the long jump. Brazil in action. Almeida Ramos of Brazil and Herrera da Silva. They've got 2 in this long jump. And it's Almeida Ramos who's made a good start to this competition. Immediately over for a bit of advice. That's always the process, it seems. And a 5.58 makes him the early front runner. Litvinenko of Ukraine. 31-year-old from Odessa. Only one of these jumpers comes in with a best of 6 meters or better, and that's Almeida Ramos. Litvinenko, third at the 2019 World Championships.
Well, he gets the white flag, and that's just always a relief to start, even if it's not quite the jump you're wanting. Having a score on the board just can relax the nerves slightly.
5:45 is all right. Now, Tosanov, he's our world record holder with 5:93. A slightly awkward landing there. Might wonder if the world record's 5:93, how does he have a personal best of 6 meters? Well, some of these jumps are recorded but not ratified in other competitions.
We're seeing more of that recently with lacking travel due to COVID, and several of the athletes just competing in smaller, more domestic competitions that maybe don't have that same status.
5:57, it's a good start from him, a season best in fact.
Just 1 centimetre shy of the lead jump set by Almeida Ramos.
Now, Rodrigo Pereira da Silva was second in Rio, a jump of 5:62. That jump put him in the lead here. Well, it's fair.
Didn't get that much height throughout it, but like we said, the athletes can really build on the first jump. They've got the white flag. Just means they can start to concentrate on really opening up the burners and pushing it a little further each time.
It's about building into the competition, isn't it? It takes a while. You've got to be patient. Switch off for a little bit between your jumps and then turn on again when it's your turn.
Men's 400 meters T20. Intellectual impairment category. This is the first of 2 heats. And the world Paralympic champion and world record and Paralympic record holder, Daniel Tavares Martins, goes in this heat. 46.86, that world record time, his best. He set the Paralympic record when he claimed the title in Rio. Pirelli Yepes goes in 8. Dieng of Italy, the 22-year-old, in 7. Campbell of Jamaica in 6. Tavares Martins in lane 5. Gold in 2016 in Rio. He's also taken gold in Dubai in 2019 at the World Para-Athletics Championships. Kwaku, who took silver in 2021 the Europeans just recently. And Colorado Mina, his first Paralympic Games for the Ecuadorian, silver in the World Championships in 2019. Lifetime best of 47.96. And in the inside lane, in lane 2, it's Delibert Rodriguez Ramirez, who's been around for a while, took bronze in the Europeans earlier this year. So 7 to go. Pirelli Yepes of Venezuela in 8. Dieng of Italy in 7. Campbell of Jamaica in 6. Tavares Martins in 5. Kwaku in 4. Colorado Mina in 3. And Rodriguez Ramirez goes in lane 2. And away they go, and all getting out to a very good start indeed, and looking really strong wide out there. In the outside lane is Pirelli Yepes of Venezuela, but he's being brought back by the Italian Dieng as they round up. And on the inside, Rodriguez Ramirez of Spain is looking really strong as he comes around that final 200 meters, and Well, dropping back somewhat is the Ecuadorian Colorado Mina. And as they come into the last 100 metres, it is the Spaniard who leads in Delibert Rodriguez Ramirez, who took silver in 2015, bronze in 2017 at the World Championships. He was the bronze medalist recently in Europe. He's looking like he's going to hold on. It's going to be a tight battle on because only the first three go through, and it's a very tight battle there for who's gone through in second and third. But there's no doubt about the winner. Delibert Rodriguez Ramirez has taken the victory. 48.57, a new lifetime best for the Spaniard. Charles Anton Kouakou, who's been given second position. And Colorado Mina, at one point he was really struggling somewhat, but 48.89, he's run a season best. But there's the winner, lifetime best of 48.57.
Rodriguez Ramirez coming from the inside and ran his own race. You can feel a little pressured sometimes starting on the inside, seeing the race unfold, but once he got to that home straight, he was in a very comfortable position indeed, and a great way to run the rounds when you've got to go through to the final. You don't want to completely exhaust everything. He looked very relaxed as he crossed the line. I mean, incredible that that's a personal best. I think there could be a bit more in the tank.
Yeah, it was a wonderful middle section of the race that he ran, and by the time he came round to the last 100, he'd built up quite a solid lead, so he was looking very strong. 48.57, a wonderful time in first place.
Back to the javelin, and Mikhail Burian of Australia sitting in third. 63.02 is a career best. And that's right in the area of the figures we're talking about. Needs to find another 5 meters to get near Sumit. We'll get back to him shortly. Burian trying to hold on and consolidate the bronze medal position. And 63.15 is a PB for the Australian. Koduthawaku of Sri Lanka. Out it goes, past 65. Well, this is a great throw from Koduthawaku.
Well, he came in with a best of a 58.38.
I wonder if he wasn't just lifted by the national anthem of Sri Lanka we heard for Herath, who won the F46. Trying to add to Sri Lanka's medal count. It's just one, but it's one gold so far, and he's in the silver medal position with a Paralympic record. He's in the F44 class, F64 for Sumit. He's thrown a world record of 68 already.
Just chatting with his coach. He's being super analytical considering his throws are on fire. But the rest of the field have started to close the gap ever so slightly. I mean, if you think at the moment, we've got 3 athletes who have thrown further than the previous world record going into this competition.
And the 66.71 for his 4th attempt.
Well, here's going back to that opening men's 400 metres T20. Rodriguez Ramirez took it. There's a real problem, though, for Daniel Martins, the world record holder and Paralympic and world champion, because he's in a bit of an issue. 50.10 in 5th position is the cutoff point at the moment. So if the next heat does go quicker, the Paralympic and world champion will miss out on making the final. Second heat of the men's 400 metres T20. The nephew of Daniel Martins will go in this. And the irony of that won't be lost if he knocks him out. Gustavo Henrique de Oliveira Diaz is the nephew of the world and Paralympic champion Daniel Martins. Wisdom Lundgren of Panama goes out in 8. Carcelin Delgado of Ecuador in 7. Correa Bassa of Portugal, who was 4th in the recent European Championships, will go in lane 6. Rodriguez Bolivar of Venezuela, well represented Venezuela, he goes in 5. There is De Oliveira Diaz, first major championships for the 21-year-old. And Columba Blanco, the European champion from Great Britain, will go in lane 3. His father represented Sierra Leone in a decathlon at the 1980 Moscow Olympics. Daley Thompson of Great Britain winning that title. So 50.10 for those who don't finish in the top 3 to go through to the final. Wisdom Lundgren of Panama in 8. Carcelin Delgado of Ecuador in 7. Correa Bassa of Portugal in 6. Rodriguez Bolivar of Venezuela in 5. De Oliveira Diaz of Brazil goes in 4. And Blanco of Great Britain in lane 3. So the intellectual impairment category, T20, the men's 400 metres, the second heat to go through to the final, and looking really strong is Rodriguez Bolivar of Venezuela, who's really straight up there, but on the outside, Wisdom Lundgren of Panama has also been caught up by Carcelin Delgado. Correa Bassa has stepped back somewhat. The European champion, Columba Blanco, is running that bend exceptionally well, and when they straighten up the last 100 metres, he'll be in the lead. And a couple of lanes over from him, it's Rodriguez Bolivar of Venezuela, the bronze medalist at the 2019 World Championships in Dubai, who has the lead at the moment. And also coming across further out is the man in lane 7, Carcelin Delgado, but it is a pretty easy finish in the end. Blanco has taken second place, and looks like Rodriguez Bolivar has gone across, and they've done it really simple indeed. There wasn't much pressure on that one for those two out in front. Rodriguez Bolivar has taken the win in the end, 48.72. Columba Blanco, the European champion, just easing up, 48.78 for him. And the all-important question is, who's going to take that third position? Because there was a bit of a battle on for it. 48.72 the qualification time. And then it will get down to the nitty-gritty of who is going to go through as the fastest qualifiers.
Well, this was a well-paced final few metres, wasn't it, by the top 3. They knew the position they were in. Just relaxing the shoulders, striding over the line. They won't be worrying about any times coming through as the top 3. Looking very much in control for Rodriguez Bolivar.
Well, Daniel Martins may miss out. We know that his nephew's going to be there, though.
Go back to action on the field, and Sumit, the new world record mark set by him. And he might have bettered it again. He threw 68.08 with his second attempt.
It does look like it's getting close towards the 70-metre mark, which this is just spectacular throwing.
Almost 6 metres he bettered his own world record by with that 68.08, and he's found a bit more. What do you think?
Well, from the reaction we've just seen, it's got to be big, hasn't it? Wait for confirmation, and there it is. The world record has just increased again, 68.55.
Unbelievable.
The best he'd thrown this season was 60.82. So that's more than, well, almost 8 metres further than his best throw this year.
Is there something in the air? Something about this stadium.
Well, there's no breeze in the air. I mean, maybe that's got something to do with it.
Sandeep, 62.20 with his third best so far. And he's just out of the medals. He's got to find about 3 metres, though, to get onto the podium. I don't think that's going to be quite enough. It's got to be out around 65. That blue jersey and grey pants that he insists are lucky charms. Not able to take him into the top three. So fourth, as he's finished his competition, a 62.03, 62.20 his best.
Well, you can understand the disappointment. Coming in as world record holder, going out in fourth position.
Crowd having a wonderful time, or those that are looking on who have accreditation. India doing very well. So that's the second heat in the men's 400 metres T20, and with that result, Greya Bassa has gone through in fourth place. And what does that mean? Well, it means a bit of a shock, because the world and Paralympic champion, Daniel Martins of Brazil, is out. The man who holds the world and Paralympic records has missed out. He ran about 3.5 seconds off that world record mark. So he is gone from the 400 metres T20 category.
Women's shot put F54 victory ceremony, this in the earlier session today. Medalists coming from Chile. Uzbekistan and Mexico.
The medals will be presented by
メダルの贈呈は
Mr. Georg Slachtenberger, member of the Paralympic Order.
パラリンピックオーダー受賞者
Accompanied by
続きまして長谷博
Executive Board Member of the Tokyo Organizing Committee of the Olympic and Paralympic Games.
東京オリンピック・パラリンピック競技大会組織委員会理事
Bronze medalist representing Uzbekistan,
銅メダリストウズベキスタン
Nukon Kurbanova.
Nukon Kurbanova, 27-year-old from Uzbekistan, fifth at the 2019 World Championships. She's from Namangan. The fourth attempt was the one that secured her this medal, 7.77 metres. Her previous career best was 7.12, so to add half a metre in this competition, outstanding effort from her. Fair bit of separation between third and fourth too, some 40 centimetres back, so she was clearly in third.
銀メダリストメキシコ
Gloria Zaza Guadarrama.
Gloria Zaza Guadarrama had the lead for a little while in this competition with an 8.06 also in the fourth round. Fourth in Rio, so move up a couple of places, and also third at 2 World Championships in 2017 and 19. It's a great result. Improved her career best from 7.58 to 8.06.
medalist and Paralympic champion, representing Chile.
金メダリストおよびパラリンピックチャンピオンチリ
Francisca Mardones Sepulveda.
Francisca Mardones Sepulveda. Well, all three medalists lifted their personal bests, but it was Sepulveda who actually broke her own world record by 14 centimetres with a new mark of 8:33. Played wheelchair tennis in London and Rio, switched sports in 2017 and is an instant gold medalist. 43-year-old from Santiago. She won the 2019 Worlds just 2 years after taking up the sport.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Chile.
皆様チリ国歌の演奏です
Well, we just get to see the eyes, and if the eyes are the window to the soul, I think we can tell we've got a very proud, very happy Chilean in Sepulveda. Chile, Mexico, Uzbekistan, our medalists in the women's shot put F54. Slightly frustrating wait, I suppose, to perform in one session and have to wait till the next, but it was right at the end of the morning session, so it's held over until the evening. We'll go back out to the men's javelin. Getting towards the sharp end of the competition, excuse the pun. And Carl Burian of Australia. Oh, 65. At least. Hang on, that's a 66.29. And in his classification, that's a new world record. It's into silver medal position too. He's snuck past Koduthuaku of Sri Lanka. And Burian with the throw of his life. And again, it's coming in the last round. How often can they do this?
It really is such exciting stuff. I mean, the standard has just been, it's as though they're pushing each other on to a new level of javelin throwing.
Koduthuaku, not done though. Trying to propel it out there. A shake of the head. And there's just flip-flopped the medal positions, these two.
Just not able to answer to Burian's surge at the end. I mean, increasing his best throw by over 3 meters.
It's astonishing what the throwers have been doing.
Victory ceremony for the men's 100 metres T35. And it was the Russian Paralympic Committee who took gold and bronze in this one. Ukraine with the silver.
The medals will be presented by
メダルの贈呈は
George Slachtenberger, member of the Paralympic Order.
パラリンピックオーダー受賞者
Accompanied by
続きまして長谷博士
Executive Board member of the Tokyo Organizing Committee
You'll
of
notice the
Olympic and Paralympic Games.
We the 15 badge
パラリンピック競技大会
that you saw a moment or two ago. The 1.2 billion people in the world living with a disability.
Bronze medalist RPC
WeThe15.org is the place to go for more information on that.
RPC
Artem Kalashian.
Artem Kalashian has taken the bronze medal. He was the world record holder coming into this. 2016 European champion. He took silver in Bydgoszcz. He was beaten by just a couple of thousandths of a second by his compatriot in Dmitry Safronov. So Kalashian takes the bronze to add to his European silver.
Medalist representing Ukraine.
銀メダリストウクライナ
Ihor Sviatov.
Ihor Sviatov was the Paralympic champion prior to this. No longer. He's still the world champion, but he saw his Paralympic record go as well. Some wonderful running in this coordination impairment category, T35.
Gold
Ukraine
medalist and Paralympic
currently fifth on the medal count,
RPC athletes.
and the Russian Paralympic Committee are in fourth position. Their 17th gold medal was won by this man, Dmitry Safronov, who set the world record in taking victory over 100 meters. World champion in 2013 and 15. European champion in 2021, and also now Paralympic champion. Took the world record of the man who finished in the bronze medal position, Artem Kalashian.
Ladies and gentlemen, the anthem
So
of
Russia
RPC.
皆様 RPC
pick up first and third. Ukraine in second as we pause for the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Paralympic medalists.
皆様パラリンピックメダリストです。
Tchaikovsky's first piano concerto, the song to be played when the Russian Paralympic Committee win a gold medal, as they did then. Dmitry Safronov picking up the gold. Artem Kalashian with the bronze, and sandwiched in the middle, Ihor Svirtov of Ukraine has picked up a silver.
It's time on track for the women's 400 meters T20 heats.
女子400メートル T20 予選
The women's 400 meters T20, the opening heat set to take place. Brianna Clark, the world record and Paralympic record holder, will go in the second of the heats. Fiona Biaxi is out in 8. Kaising of Thailand, the 19-year-old, in 7. Franchek of Poland, who goes in 6. Felix Barboza of Brazil in 5. Toyama Ami of Japan in 4. And Yulia Shulia of Ukraine will go in lane 3 inside the Japanese athlete. Shulia, the European champion, will go from lane 3. Again, it will be the first 3 who go through to the final, and the next 2 fastest will advance. The T20 intellectual impairment category, women's 400 metres. So off they head for one lap of this wonderful Olympic stadium, and it has been a very fast track indeed. And it's Justina Franchek, the bronze medalist from the 2021 European Championships, who's gone out rather quickly. Out in the outside, Iona Biaxi, the Hungarian, whose twin sister Bernadette will go in the following races, fallen back somewhat, and looking really good on the inside now is Yulia Shulia of Ukraine, who's the reigning European champion. She was silver medalist back at the Worlds in Dubai in 2019, and she's roaring around the 150-metre mark with 100 metres to go. It is Yulia Shulia who has the lead at the moment, and she's looking really strong. It will be the first 3 who will go through to the final. In second place, just on the outside of her, it's Brazil's 17-year-old Felix Barboza, and it is Franchek of Poland who's going to hang on to take the 3rd automatic qualification position. The Japanese athlete Toyama Ami, who took silver at the last Asian Para Games, in 4th position. But that lady there, Shulia of Ukraine, looked really strong as she came around that last 150 metres and ran the bend superbly. And it's a new Paralympic record she's set as well. Well, she looked like she was doing it so easily, and she was so good. She's broken the Paralympic record, 57.58. So that mark from Brianna Clark set in Rio 5 years ago has gone in the opening heat. Well, she almost looked as though she was easing up somewhat as she went across the line, did Shulia.
She paced that so well, didn't she? It was an early start there from Franchek. We saw just crossing the line in 3rd. Looked like she'd burnt her matches too soon, but this woman paced that to perfection. But it'll be interesting to see how long that record stands, because we've got the second heat with the previous Paralympic record holder, the current world record holder, who will be no doubt fired up by seeing her time smashed there, and that record by Yulia Shulia.
Well, she has a lifetime best set this year, 56.83. So she can go quicker. She did pull up before the line, but she set a Paralympic record of 57.58. Barboza de Silva also goes through, as does Franchek of Poland. The rest will have to wait. Well, the second heat is just about ready to go in this intellectual impairment category. You can find in this category that sometimes the pacing is not exactly what they want. They can go out a bit quick. Someone who can go quick, Brianna Clark, the Paralympic and world champion and the world record holder, having had the Paralympic record taken away from her just a moment or two ago. I wonder what she thinks. A penny for her thoughts. It's all about qualifying for the final first and foremost. Karina Paim of Portugal, always in amongst the medals. Bronze in 2019, the lady in lane 4. Silver earlier this year in the Europeans. 22 years of age. 57.29, her lifetime best. That also would take her inside the Paralympic record heading into these championships. The former 800-meter world champion, Bernadette Biaxi, will go from lane 8. Gonzalez Enriquez of Venezuela will go from 7. There is Brianna Clark, the world and Paralympic champion, and now the world record holder only, will go in lane 6. Mohamed Arifin will go in lane 5, the Malaysian, who's the Asian Paralympic Games champion. And Karina Paim, bronze medalist at the last World Championships in Dubai. Just missed out on a gold medal this year at the Europeans. She'll go in 4. And Sisa of Indonesia, bronze at the Asian Paralympic Games in Jakarta in 2018, will go in lane 3. So the first 3 automatically qualify for the final. At the moment, the cutoff point is 103.06 to go through as a lucky loser. So Biaxi in 8, Gonzalez Enriquez in 7, Clark in 6, Mohamed Arifin in 5, Paim in 4, and Sisa in lane 3. And Brianna Clark has got out really quickly already. Gonzalez Enriquez is feeling Brianna Clark coming up on her inside shoulder, and then Karina Paim is the next best, around 20 or so meters back, and the field are splintered by a long, long way. Brianna Clark has rounded the bend at the 200-meter mark in the lead. She's around 150 out. Gonzalez Enriquez of Venezuela, who took silver at the Pan American Games in 2019, is currently in 2nd position. And Karina Paim, who's always there in the major championship finals and the mix-up, is going to come through and take 2nd at the moment. As it stands, Gonzalez Enriquez just pulling up somewhat, and she might struggle to get across the line. She doesn't get a move on. She's being caught. But it's Brianna Clark who's gone across. Paim in 2nd, and it is Gonzalez Enriquez who holds on to pick up the automatic 3rd position. And guess what? It's a new Paralympic record by Brianna Clark, so it didn't last more than a couple of minutes, did it? I fancy in the final it's going to be even quicker again. 56.07. So Brianna Clark, she lost the Paralympic record to Yulia Shulia just a few minutes ago. It's changed again. Back down, 56.07 it is. Now Shulia had run 57.58, so that is a very quick run indeed.
Well, that is only a few hundredths of a second slower than her best this year, and a few hundredths of a second slower than her own world record, 55.99. That world record stands at. She's got to find 800ths of a second to break the world record in the final.
She got off to a really quick start, it has to be said. In that first 100 metres, she absolutely roared around the back straight and then straight down past everyone, and she just looked really solid in her action, and her pacing was great. We just hope she hasn't taken too much out when it comes to the final but she looked really good, did the American, and she'll be hoping to retain that title when she heads into the final. She's got both the records back. Perhaps we might be looking at a world record in the women's 400 metres T20 final. We shall see.
Just tidying up the end of the javelin. F64, he stepped forward over the line. I don't think he minds Sumit. He's won this one. And incredible fashion, he did it too. With a new world record of 68.55. He smashed his old mark of 62.88. He's in the F64 class.
Well, all 5 of those throws that counted were far better than his previous best.
Dulan Kodithiawaku of Sri Lanka will be collecting the bronze medal.
What a wonderful array of colours.
Yes, and off to the right there, slightly out of screen. Now in the picture, Mikhail Burian, who came up with a new world record for his category to move into second place, 66.29. So there we have it, F64 Sumit, and 68.55 world record. Burian, a world record also, and Kodithiawaku, a personal best. Well, we keep getting showered with these great performances, and we're loving seeing it. We hope you at home are finding it entertaining as well. There's also action across in the long jump with the T36. And Pavlik is hanging around looking for a medal. Had early jumps at 5:30 and 5:42. Pavlik, some kind of chance here in this one.
That's some good height. Look at the explosion off the right leg.
Several track gold medals out of London and Beijing. Twice been a world champion in this event. A 5:55. That's a significant improvement for him, and he is solidly in third now. Evgeny Tursunov.
I think he just moved up one place with that, actually, just from 4th into 3rd. To celebrate.
Tursunov, who is the world record holder with 5:93. Stumped a couple of season best efforts and remains the man to beat. And a 5:58.
Well, that's interesting because Almeida Ramos on his opening jump was a 5:58 to go into the lead. So we currently have those two sitting equal.
The men's 100 metres T63 final. Scott Reardon, the Paralympic champion, a 3-time world champion, qualified as a lucky loser, and lucky he was after a slip at the beginning. Joel de Jong of the Netherlands first out, who took bronze in 2018 at the European Championships in Berlin. He was already 6th here in the long jump. Alessandro Sola of Italy, a lifetime best set this year of 12.65 seconds. There is Scott Reardon. Not the greatest of races to get through to the final. He'll be hoping for better after that slip. Nabote, 16 years of age at his first major championships. What an experience for him. 12.64, his lifetime best. Daniel Wagner qualified with a time of 12.61. He took silver in 2016 He's the world champion from 2019. Leon Schaefer, who took silver in Dubai a couple of years ago. Vinicius Gonçalves Rodrigues of Brazil missed out on 2016 qualification. He holds the world record at T63, turns in at Guillemina, and Germany's Heinrich Popov, his idols. You may have heard of them. Anton Prokhorov, the only T42 athlete going in this one. And if it goes to script, we'll be seeing another record going. So De Jong will go in lane 2, Reardon will go in 3. Wagner of Denmark will go in 4. Gonçalves Rodrigues in 5. Prokhorov in 6. Schaefer in 7. Mbote in 8. And Asola, who was bronze in the European Championships earlier this year, will go in lane 9. There's the man who holds the T63 World and Paralympic records. That Paralympic record set just 24 hours ago by Vinicius Gonçalves Rodrigues of Brazil, who'll go on the right of screen there next to Prokhorov. And away they go, and Scott Reardon of Australia, who slipped in that last round, is got no problems here, but it's Prokhorov out in front who's leading them away. Prokhorov, here comes the Paralympic record holder, Gonçalves Rodrigues, and I think he's just been held off by Prokhorov on the line. It's a photo finish, there's no doubt about that, but I'm sure that the Russian Paralympic Committee athlete has held them off, and he has, and it's a new world record of 12.04 for his category in T42. Gonçalves Rodrigues has broken his own Paralympic record, taking the silver, and Leon Schaefer of Germany, a lifetime best for himself. But it is Anton Prokhorov. His world record coming into this in the T42 category was 12.15. That was set just 24 hours ago as well. It was 12.15, it's now 12.04. Wonderful running indeed.
Well, it was a strong start there at the top of your screen from the Australian Scott Reardon, but he didn't have anything to answer for the sheer speed of Prokhorov. Strong finish coming through from Gonçalves Rodrigues. Prokhorov just holding off the dip to the line by the Brazilian, and it was incredibly close, and a strong finish there for Schaefer, the German, to take the bronze. Not the day for Scott Reardon after scraping through, but you saw the strong start from the Australian. Prokhorov just closest to us.
The T42 to 44 athletes are the athletes who are competing lower limb-wise without a prosthesis. The T61 to 64 categories are those competing with a lower limb prosthesis. So just to let you know, if you're wondering what the difference is between those two particular classifications, hence having a world record set by that man, Anton Prokhorov, in the T42 category, and a T63 Paralympic record set by Vinicius Gonçalves Rodrigues in the T63 category, which he participates in. But that man there has picked up the gold medal. It's the Russian Paralympic Committee who take the gold, Brazil who pick up the silver, and Germany take the bronze. Well, it's been double joy for the Russian Paralympic Committee athletes so far in this evening session. 2 finals, 2 victories. World record for Anton Prokhorov in T42s. Paralympic record in the T63s for Gonçalves Rodriguez and Leon Schaefer, a lifetime best for Germany, taking the bronze medal. Brianna Clark, Paralympic record for her just before the last race, 400 metres T20. She'll go through and defend her Paralympic title in the final. There's confirmation of that Paralympic record after it had been broken in the previous heat. Karina Paim also through, Gonzalez Enriquez automatically, and the Malaysian athlete is also through, Mohamed Arifin, with a season best for her. Yulia Shulia, well, she had the Paralympic record for all of about 4 minutes. Clark has taken it back. Mohamed Arifin and Toyama Amy also going through for Japan as a lucky loser.
Things progressing over at the men's long jump, T36, Acosta Soto, best of 5:26. Now, he's got some work to do to get up to the top 3. Can be done, though. And the Colombian, 21 years of age, from Cartagena. Personal best of 5:43 coming in.
See the sheer effort and concentration throughout.
And a 5:48, so there's a new PB for Omar Jose Acosta Soto.
Well, that's the time to produce the best of your performances, isn't it? And this man has been sitting just outside the medals. Roman Pavliuk.
These last few jumps are going to be crucial. There could be some important changes of position as Pavlik
Well, a personal best jump from the Ukrainian would be enough to put him in the medals. He's just off his personal best so far. We'll see if that's got any closer.
Yeah, career best of 5:66. The concentration and effort. .551. He's had a very consistent competition. Just got to find some extra.
The third track final of the evening, men's 100 metres T64 final. And there are 3 different categories as far as the records go there. T44s, T62s and T64. We'll explain a little bit about that in just a moment or two's time. Jared Wallace, his idol is Johannes Flores, who also goes in this. He was bronze in 2017 at the World Championships in London. Hunter Woodhall, the second of 3 United States athletes to go in this one. Second Paralympic Games, he's got 4 World Championship medals. And the third American, Jonathan Gore, the fastest loser to go through, 27 years old, his first major championship, so no doubt the nerves are jangling there somewhat. From Mpulela Malongo of South Africa, he's the T44 World and Paralympic record holder. Bronze in the long jump in 2019 and silver in 2019. Johnny Peacock victorious in 2012 in London, 2016 in Rio. 10.64, his lifetime best. He goes in the T64 category. Felix Streng, part of the 2016 4x100 Games gold relay winning team, and also took bronze in the long jump there. Johannes Flors, the second of the Germans, silver in 2018 in Berlin at the Europeans, and then gold in 2019, the world champion from Germany. And Gedi of Costa Rica, second in his heat. He looks confident, doesn't he? So the T44 record held by Malongo, that's for the lower limb competing without a prosthesis affected by a impaired muscle power or impaired passive range of movement. The 61 to 64s, they have a lower limb prosthesis they will be competing with. Wallace will go into Gore in 3, Peacock in 4, Flors in 5, Gedi in 6 of Costa Rica. Streng of Germany will go in 7. Malongo of South Africa in lane 8. And Woodhall, he'll be fine, all right. He'll go in lane 9. Peacock looking for 3 Paralympic titles in a row. So Malongo, the only T44 category athlete. All the others have a lower limb prosthesis. Malongo of South Africa in lane 8 in the green and gold there. And they get away. Malongo gets away quick, and the athlete on the inside of him, Streng, is looking really strong. Felix Streng's looking like he's going to get it. Johnny Peacock's there as well. Is it going to be Felix Streng? It looks like Streng has just got across and taken it. 10.75. Well, that was tight for all 3 medals. Felix Streng has been given the mark at 10.76. Has taken gold, and he's very happy about it, as you can see. Joy unconfined there for Felix Streng. He becomes a Paralympic champion. Well, he won bronze in 2019 at the World Championships. He's become a Paralympic champion. Costa Rica have also picked themselves up a medal, a lifetime best for Sherman Isidro, Gedi. 10.78 for the Costa Rican. But it's all about Felix Streng. It's so tight, we're still waiting on seeing who came third. That's how tight it was. It was a blanket finish. But it is Felix Streng who's picked up the win. Of that, we can be guaranteed. And Costa Rica have taken a medal as well. And by my reckoning, Costa Rica have picked up their first medal of these Paralympic Games.
All the celebrations amongst the athletes. Maybe they know, but we're still waiting to hear where that bronze medal has been awarded. But the gold and the silver already being celebrated. Felix Streng, the new Paralympic champion. Johnny Peacock unable to defend the 2 titles he came into this final with, and we get to see the slow motion here. It was a strong start by Peacock, but here Streng and Gedi coming through. Peacock had it so until those final few meters. From this angle, it looks even more so. But Streng closing down that gap, and timing that final few strides to perfection. Well, that's for the judges to decide between.
That's down to thousandths of a second. There's absolutely no doubt at all. That is down to thousandths of a second there between Floors and Peacock. Good luck working that one out. Malongo got away really quick, and then as Streng came through, Peacock found himself a second win there and looked really good, pumping those arms and legs. And that's when the Costa Rican, Giti, made his move. But right on the line, Johannes Floors has dipped at the same time as Peacock, and this will definitely be in the thousandths of seconds.
Well, it would be quite a night, wouldn't it, for Germany?
Well, the result's in, and Johnny Peacock has it. 10.79 seconds, exactly the same mark as Johannes Floors. Peacock's been given third place, a season best for him, a Paralympic record for the T62 section for Johannes Floors, which he competes in, and he misses out on the medal. It's the way it is. He's got a Paralympic record. Nothing to split them at all.
Well, great to see Floors still celebrating, and so he should be with that record. Johnny Peacock, the one who seems slightly more subdued, even with the season's best.
Well, it actually hasn't even come down to thousandths of a second. They can't even split them on that. And Peacock and Floors have both been awarded an equal bronze medal. That is how tight it was. That is why we had to wait for so long, and that is why we have 4 who will be on the podium. Johnny Peacock couldn't replicate what he did in London 2012 and in Rio 2016. He's picked up a medal, this time of the bronze variety. Now, I don't think I've ever seen athletes who can't be split by thousandths of a second. Just watch Floors there next to Peacock coming through. They dip at the same time. We've got technology. We've got everything. Imagine what they did 50 years ago.
Well, that would have been the angle of the judge, wouldn't it? So thank goodness for technology, and, well, a great result for Germany with the new Paralympic champion, but 2 athletes on the podium.
Well, Felix Streng, he's been hanging around and soaking up the atmosphere because he knew he won. As did Giti, who picked up a lifetime best with a silver, and Floors of Germany and Peacock of Great Britain. Well, they couldn't be split. Paralympic record for Floors, though, in the 262 category, but it's a equal bronze medal. What a race. We'll stay on the track. The women's 400 metres, T12, the opening heat of 3. Mara Durand, who's the world record and Paralympic record holder, will go in heat 2. Four to go in the first one. Including the likes of Katrina Muller-Rothgart, who's been around for a long time, very experienced. And Moses Ayakar, who took silver in the European Championships a couple of months ago. This is the medium visual impairment category. So the athletes can elect to run with or without a guide. Perez Lopez, whose sister Linda Patricia Perez Lopez qualified for the 100 metres T11 semi-finals, running a little bit earlier. There is Moses Ayakar of Spain. She was 6th in the 1500 metres already at these Paralympic Games. 37 years of age, still going strong. Katila Teodoro, who took bronze in the 2019 Pan American Games in Lima in Peru, and Katrin Müller-Rutgart, bronze at the 2018 Europeans in Berlin in her home country. Her best Paralympic Games result of 4th back in 2004. So it will just be the first place that goes through, and then the next one across the 3 heats will advance to the final. So extremely important across all 3 that you get the victory to guarantee a place. You don't want to be waiting to see if you go through as a lucky loser. Perez Lopez will go in 7, versus Ayakar in 5, Teodora in 3, and Müller-Rutgart in lane 1. But we've had a tether breach from Müller-Rutgart. So the athletes were told to stand up, and the officials are getting together to have a chat. It was lane 1, there's no doubt whatsoever about that. The only question is, as the guide looks on a little bit concerned, Noah Philippe Fina, and the red card's been shown. So Katrina Müller-Rutgart, who's been around since Athens in 2004, where she finished 4th, is a disqualified starter, so she will not go after breaking from the line. We're now down to 3. So they'll line themselves back up again. The guide will help tether the 2 athletes who will be running with the guide. Perez Lopez of Venezuela in 7, versus Ayakar of Spain in 5, and Teodoro of Brazil in lane 3. Well, they're away without any issues after that disqualification to Katrina Müller-Rutgart earlier on. And looking really good out wide there is Perez Lopez, her 2nd major championship after the World Championship in 2019. She practices law. She practices running pretty well also. She's way out in front at the moment. It is only the first place that will definitely go through to the final tomorrow. And with around 150 metres or so to go, it's Perez Lopez who's out in front in this medium visual impairment category, but there is a long way to go. Still just over 100 metres left. There is plenty of time for athletes to tighten up, for all sorts of things to happen if they don't concentrate all the way through to the end. But Perez Lopez is looking really strong indeed down this near side in lane 7, and she's going to win this race. Heads across the line first, ahead of her guide, 56.95 seconds for her. That's a new lifetime best for Perez Lopez. So she'll go across first into the final. It was a really nice run indeed by the Venezuelan. Venezuela are having a cracking Paralympic Games so far in the para-athletics, both in the track and on the field as well. And Perez Lopez, along with her sister who's been competing as well, Linda Patricia Perez Lopez. Well, she's done as well as her sister. She's through to the final of the 400 metres T12.
Well, when it is just the first athlete guaranteed a slot across the line, you don't want to be putting yourself in any danger. And Perez Lopez did not leave anything to chance. It's a strong finish coming through by Jose Ayakar. She'll have a nervous wait. 2 more heats to go, but this woman should be able to go and put her feet up and start to prepare. Think about the final. Running a personal best in the heats is surely going to give her plenty of confidence.
Been following the action of the men's T36 long jump. Now, I want to catch up with what's happening with William Steadman. Hasn't been challenging for the medals. Young man from Christchurch. He's put a good jump in there. And it's fair. And he can't tell just yet. Started off with a foul, then a 5.44, 5.42. He's had the likes of Almeida Ramos and Pavlik ahead of him. And Steadman has jumped 5.64 to jump into second position. Unbelievable. Well, hasn't he got some talent at 21? Raman Pavlik. He's just been pushed out of second place by the Kiwi. Can he respond? I'm not sure that'll do it. Oh, it could be very close. 5.64 was Steadman's jump.
It's a nervous wait now.
This is very tight for second and third, Steadman and Pavlik. Can he beat a 5.64? It's 5.63. Oh, that's heartbreak for Pavlik. Well, he's going to get a medal, but William Steadman, with his best jump, has held on.
Well, Perez Lopez is through to the final of the 400 metres T12. Her sister is through to the T11 100 metres final. So they're keeping it in the family. Lifetime best for Perez Lopez. Moses Ayakar will have to wait. Mulurukka and Teodoro were disqualified. Second heat and the women's 400 metres T12. And the reigning champion, world champion and Paralympic champion, Umara Durand Elias, will go in lane 3. Velasco Maldonado of Mexico took bronze in 2012 in London, failed to get out of a heat in 2016. Fatima Zahra El Idrissi, she was 5th in 2019. In the 1500 metres, she failed to finish a couple of days ago and had to be taken off in a wheelchair. She looks okay at the moment, though. And this lady here, Umara Durand Elias, 11 World Championship golds, nicknamed the Queen of Speed. 51.17 seconds is the world and Paralympic record she set in Rio in 2016. Had the honour of being the flag bearer for Cuba at the 2016 opening ceremony at the Paralympic Games. Her husband's also represented Cuba in athletics in the hammer throw in 2007 and 2011, so they're a athletic family. Velasco Maldonado will go in 7, El Idrissi in 5, and Durand Elias in 3. They've been asked to stand up, though. We've had a few issues like that, haven't we, during these last day or two?
Well, considering it's such a quiet stadium compared to if we had a stadium filled with thousands of cheering fans, it's surprising to see quite so many mishaps at the start. But now, this nervous moment whilst the referees just make their decision. Will we still have 3 athletes in this heat?
Well, we're just waiting for the card to come out, and it is green. You can see in the distance there, down near Velasco Maldonado. It's a green card being given to El Adrisi. So she's the only one of the athletes who isn't running with a guide. Quite amazing, because not so long ago, 2 days ago, she was taken off in a wheelchair and looked to be in a really difficult state. She looked like she had heat exhaustion from that 1,500 metres. She is the 1,500 metres world champion, and she's back on the track, with credit to her. So the second heat of 3, women's 400 metres T12 medium visual impairment category. And this time they do get away. Velasco Maldonado in 7, El Adrisi in 5, and Duran Elias, who goes in lane 3, who's already gone past El Adrisi. And the mechanics of that running style are absolutely fantastic, and the synchronicity with the guide down the back straight just looks superb. And she's rocketed out in front of Velasco Maldonado, the Mexican, and it is Amara Duran Elias who heads around with around 150 metres to go in first place. It's a question of whether she'll ease up knowing that she's going to go through to the final, or whether her guide, Junior Kinderland Vargas, has decided that they might put the foot down and try and come up with some sort of a record. They look like they're cruising through at the moment. The 29-year-old and her 27-year-old guide, they look in a strong position. She heads across the line first, and 55.33. So a sluggish time by her standards. Velasco Maldonado is going to cross in second place. We'll have to wait on the time there to see who goes through after the next heat as the lucky loser. But it is that lady from Cuba who's taken the first place in this, in a season best time of 55.33 to go through to the final. Looks solid, looks steady, and moves through to the final.
Well, it was a demonstration, wasn't it, really, of just her level above the rest of her competitors. Nothing to fear there. And just able to get the legs moving, getting some race experience. But she doesn't even look to be breathing heavily. And as we can tell from the time, we know the Cuban is capable of far more than that. And I think she'll be saving it. So it could be exciting to see what she actually can produce when put under pressure in the final.
55.33, the qualifying time for Amara Duran Elias, women's 400 metre T12. One more heat left to go.
Now, Tursunov, Russian Paralympic Committee. This is the men's long jump T36. See if we can finish this off for you. Tursunov in a very strong position. He had a 5.76 Paralympic record jump with his 4th. And he is the world record holder, and he looks to be the Paralympic champion. But some pretty pleased New Zealanders as well, because William Steadman has leapt into contention in silver medal position ahead of Roman Pavlik. But Tursunov, courtesy of his Paralympic record jump in the 4th round, he's got it done. It's that 5.76 Paralympic record. So the placings: Tursunov of the Russian Paralympic Committee, 5.76. William Steadman, New Zealand, 5.64 by a centimetre, has beaten Roman Pavlik of Ukraine.
The final heat in the women's 400 metres T12 medium visual impairment category. And we'll see 3 starting in this one. One more place automatically up for grabs in the final. Oksana Peterchik of Ukraine. European gold medalist in 2014 and 18. She's also taken silver in 2008, 12 and 16 behind Amara Durand Elias. There she is, a lifetime best of 53.14 seconds. She may well feel this is her time. Viral Hernandez in lane 7 from Venezuela, who was silver at the 2019 Pan American Games, and she took bronze in the same year in Dubai in the Worlds. Oksana Peterchik, silver in the last 3 Paralympic Games. She took silver in Christchurch in 2011, Doha in 2015, and Dubai in 2019 in the World Championships. And Sarah Martinez, their first time over 400 metres at a major championship. So Venezuela, Ukraine and Spain represented in this third heat of the women's 400 metres T12 medium visual impairment category. Another still night here at the Tokyo Olympic Stadium. Hardly a breath of air. They get away with Viral Hernandez of Venezuela in 7, Peterchik of Ukraine in 5, and Martinez of Spain in lane 3. And looking really good already is Oksana Peterchik in the blue shorts and yellow vest of the Ukraine. So she's moving up on the inside shoulder of Viral Hernandez of Venezuela. And with around 200 metres to go, she's a couple of metres off the pace on the outside, and she'll straighten up into that last 100 or so metres in the lead as she winds her way down with around 120 metres left to go. And into the straight they come, and she's opened up a gap of around 10 or 12 metres so far, and she'll be looking to try and keep that pace all the way through to the end and make sure she heads across the line first, as she has to do to avoid disqualification, and she does just that. 56.49 is the time for Oksana Peterchik and her guide Mikita Barabanov. So the 36-year-old doing it pretty easily in the end, a season best time for her, and she qualifies through to the final. I guess the hardest part of the athletes at the moment is once they finish a rather difficult race like this, they have to put the mask on almost straight away. Qualification time then of 56.49, a season best for Oksana Peterchik.
Peterchik had looked easy, but you could just see it finish there. More exertion than we saw from Durand Elias in the previous heat. Peterchik will have her eyes set on going one better than the silver medal she has in this event. She's given herself the best chance, qualifying in a straightforward fashion. Paced that well, had a really high cadence in the first half of that 400 metres, but staying in sync with the guide.
Well, the Venezuelan, Viral Hernandez, with her time of 58.71, should go through as number 4 into the final with that there. She's come in by a good couple of seconds on those who were in those positions. Exhausting work, but a final in play.
Going to have the victory ceremony for the men's javelin F64. Goodness, what a competition this was. Records smashed all over the place in the Two main classifications in this, the F64 and F44. Sumit breaking his own world record by 4 meters with his first throw.
The medals will be presented by
メダルの贈呈は山下康弘
Vice President of the Tokyo Organizing Committee of the Olympic and Paralympic Games.
東京オリンピック・パラリンピック競技大会組織委員会副会長
Accompanied by
続きまして日比野信子
Executive Board Member of the Tokyo Organizing Committee of the Olympic and Paralympic Games.
東京オリンピック・パラリンピック競技大会組織委員会理事
Bronze medalist representing Sri Lanka,
銅メダリストスリランカ
Dulan Kodituwaku.
So Dulan Kodituwaku was very close to getting the silver until the last round. He threw a 65-61 with his fourth attempt. A career best for him. 31-year-old from Colombo who was fourth at the Asian Para Games. Came in with a best of 58-38. Well, he's thrown 7 meters than his previous career best.
Silver medalist representing Australia,
銀メダリストオーストラリア
Mikhail Burian.
Mikhail Burian has had quite a journey to reach this point. Born and raised in the Czech Republic, as a young man he moved to Australia feeling his athletics career was over. But speaking no English, he struggled for a while, made Australia his home, went back to throwing, and here he is collecting a silver medal. A man from Melbourne who was idolised, former Czech thrower Jan Zalesny. Jan Zalesny might be watching now and realising how many men he has influenced, including this one.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing India,
金メダリストおよびパラリンピックチャンピオンインド
Sumit.
So with his first throw of almost 67 metres, he beat his old mark of 62.88 as the world record. He continued to beat that old record with a throw of 68.08, so he improved it with his second throw, then 65, then 66, and then a contest best of 68.55, and his former world record mark is naught but a memory. And he wins India's second Paralympic gold medal at these Games.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of India.
皆様インド国歌の演奏です
Amazing to think that Sumit didn't really pick up the sport until late 2015. He'd been involved in wrestling prior to that, which is very popular in India. And the subcontinent continuing to shine with these throwing events. Korathawaku for Sri Lanka. The name of that little mascot, I'm sure you've heard, is Somaiti, and Somaiti has been the throwing here at these games, 2020 Paralympics. All the struggle and change of nation, worth it, it would seem, for Michal Burian, the silver medalist, as he goes over to join Sumit and Korathawaku. So many great stories emerging through these games, the backstories and the competition stories.
So the result in the third heat of the women's 400 metres T12 medium visual impairment, Peturchuk and Villarreal Hernandez goes through as a fastest qualifier to the final. So it looks like this. The marriage around Elias with the fastest time, the reigning champion Peturchuk, who took silver in the last games, goes through Perez Lopez and Villarreal Hernandez.
I think it's still about 30 degrees. The temperature is not backing off in the evening here, coming up to 9:20 Tokyo time. We're going to roll straight into another victory ceremony, this time the men's long jump T36. Fascinating one it was, with a late change at the top three as well, involving this man, Will Steadman, out of Christchurch. He's only 21, but he was a medalist in Rio, 400 and 800, fifth in the long jump, came from nowhere to grab a silver in this one.
The medals will be presented by
メダルの贈呈は山下康弘
Vice President of the Tokyo Organizing Committee of the Olympic and Paralympic Games.
東京オリンピック・パラリンピック競技大会組織委員会副会長
Accompanied by
続きまして高橋治之
Executive Board Member of the Tokyo Organizing Committee of the Olympic and Paralympic Games.
東京オリンピック・パラリンピック競技大会組織委員会理事
Well, this event just took its time finding its rhythm and its mojo, if you like. A lot of jumps around 550 until the field started to separate themselves. We had Almeida Ramos of Brazil with an early 5:58, and he fell out of the running. Roman Pavlik, a 5:63 to sneak the bronze for Ukraine. Twice world champion, 2013 and 17. And he was just 2 centimeters shy of a personal best and 1 centimeter shy of equaling the silver medalist.
New Zealand,
銀メダリストニュージーランド
William Steadman.
Well, Steadman from Christchurch, he was 4th at the 2017 Worlds and 5th in 2019. He's blossomed very early. So he was just a teenager in Rio, and he's 5th in the long jump and medaled in the 4 and 800. And with his final jump of 5:64, he's edged out Pavlik by 1 centimetre.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion, RPC athlete.
金メダリストおよびパラリンピックチャンピオン RPC
Evgeny Torzanov.
Torzanov was always around the lead. He's just 1 centimetre behind the Brazilian after the first round. Caught him in the third and then moved ahead with a 4th round jump and Paralympic record of 5.76, and that was good enough. It held on. He's the world record holder with 5.93. He won the 2015 and 19 World Championships from Perm, representing the Russian Paralympic Committee.
Ladies and gentlemen, the anthem of RPC.
皆様 RPC 参加の演奏です。
Ladies and gentlemen,
Evgeny Torzanov, the gold medal, and just 1 centimetre separating second and third. Will Steadman getting the better of it from Roman Pavlik. Not the first long jump event to be separated by a centimetre between the medalists. Masks will go on for the next set of photos. New Zealand now with, this is correct, 2 gold, 3 silver and 1 bronze. In 27th place on the medal table. Always punching above their weight. Great sporting nation. Back to the track we go.
As we head back to the track, the final offering of the evening session. Women's 1500 metres T54, the strongest of the wheelchair categories. And there are 2 heats taking place involving Manuela Scher, the world record holder, who's already claimed gold in the 5,000 here, and Tatiana McFadden, the Paralympic champion. Tatiana McFadden will go in this, who's the Paralympic champion and holds the Paralympic record. Madison de Rosario, she's already claimed a gold in the 800 metres after coming 5th over 5,000 metres. She took bronze in this event in 2 World Championships in 2015 and 17, and silver in 2019. Fezemeyer of the USA will go in 5. HS, European champion, in 4. And Tatiana McFadden, who's the double defending champion in the Paralympics, will start in 3. First Paralympic Games for the Chinese athlete Zhou and Merlin Marie Menya, 17 years of age, from Mainz on the inside. A revelation this year on the European circuit. So it'll be the first 3 in each of the 2 heats that goes through to the final, and then after that the next 4 fastest will advance to the final round. And it's Menya of Germany, the 17-year-old youngster, who's gone up to the lead. There's certainly one thing about the young German: she doesn't mind about the company she keeps. She doesn't mind if they're world champions, Paralympic champions. She just takes her own race to them and knows exactly the type of tactics that she wants to use. So Menya out in front, Madison De Rosario, who took gold in the 800 metres, and then the debutant in the Paralympic Games, Zhao Zhuiquan of China, in 3rd position, and McFadden tracking that just on the outside there. She's a fantastic tactician, is Tatiana McFadden, and she'll know exactly where she has to be to get through to the final.
You might think being on the outside a little bit harder, but she'll still be getting some drag advantage from the leaders. And we're seeing it, I think they're working together a little bit here, as we see Menge purposefully move to the outside and allowing De Rosario to come through. And this would only be happening because they want to work together at the moment, and it's going to start to ramp up. But the stronger athletes in this field will be well aware that they will want to stop any late charges coming from an unknown outsider, the top 3 to go through. So it's a very different dynamic in a qualifying than it would be in the final.
Yeah, but the friendliness will disappear with about 400 metres to go. They'll come down this time and they'll have 2 laps remaining in this first heat of the women's 1,500 metres T54 category. Tatiana McFadden, who is that double defending champion at the Paralympics. She took silver in the 800 metres after taking bronze in the 5,000 metres. It's been very competitive, this women's T54 wheelchair category. At the back of the field there is Patricia Aegis. You may well know her as Patricia Keller. That was what she used to be. She's the European champion, and she's sitting at the back of the pack at the moment. There are 6 athletes in this. Only 3 go through. And it's now the gold medalist over 800 metres, Madison De Rosario, who's out in front. And it's a rather slow pace on at the moment. It's all very canny between these athletes. They know that if you go too early, you'll put yourself under undue pressure. And in these situations, you don't want to go too early. You want to keep the powder dry until you really have to go for it, because you know once the lactic acid build-up starts, you'll be in a world of hurt around the shoulder area. As it goes now with 450 metres remaining, it's McFadden around the outside, it's De Rosario on the inside, and it's Menya of Germany in 2nd place at the moment as the bell rings. And all of a sudden, as they go around, it's McFadden who takes to the lead. She'll try and cut across in front of Madison De Rosario and make it a little bit easier on herself. Having said that, she does compete in marathons and wins those as well. So there's no problem whatsoever when it comes to being able to hold out for a long period of time, but you don't want to be there unnecessarily as she is at the moment. But it is the first 3 to go through, so there's not a great deal of panic at the moment for Tatiana McFadden. She knows exactly what she wants to do, and it's Menya in 3rd position, the young German, tracking McFadden's move, and De Rosario in the pole position on the inside. But there's a move all of a sudden down the outside from Zhao of China, and McFadden has to put the burners on there, and she does just that. She goes across at Zhao in 2nd, and De Rosario has gone through, I think, in 3rd place, just ahead of Menya. Well, that 3rd place position there will be one to check out, because it's Zhao who's gone through with McFadden.
Well, that was 2 separate races, really, wasn't it? We had the first 2 3/4 laps, and then once that bell rang, there was a very fast 400 to finish.
Well, Menya's actually taken that. And De Rosario on the inside has finished in 4th position. I don't think anyone was expecting that effort from Zhao down the outside. McFadden's certainly gone across in 1st place. It's a top 3 that go through automatically to the final. McFadden's certainly gone through as the fastest.
Long jump, confirmation of placings at Tursunov of RPC, 576 from Will Steadman, 564. And then a centimetre back to third. As look at some of the action from the long jump. And Pavlik, 563. His last jump just coming up 1 centimetre short of this man. We already know the result, but what pressure was on this one. And Steadman saving his best till last. A 564 and area record. Tursunov, 558 in the third round. Announced he was getting back into form. Hits the board nicely, good elevation. Just a little look down. As long as you don't turn your head down. Keep your head up, shoulders up, and get up. And a 576, his fourth round attempt was his best, and a Paralympic record for Tursunov, the eventual winner. Pavlik, the bronze. Steadman of New Zealand, a silver. Fantastic effort in the last round from him. They'll be toweling down. It's so humid today. Those on the track will be feeling it too.
Well, McFadden went across in first place in that T54, 1,500 metres. Heat 1, 3:36.24 the time. So no real pace to it. But the weight will be on to see who goes through from the second heat, because Madison De Rosario, who took gold in the 800 metres, has just been snuck out at the end there by 3/100ths of a second. So the second heat of the women's 1,500 metres T54. At the moment, 3:37.56 is the time for the lucky loser to beat if they want to go through. The world champion Zhu Li Hong goes in this, as does Manuela Scher, the world record holder, who's also taken gold over 5,000 metres already at these championships and bronze in the 800 metres. There she is, Manuela Scher, the world record holder, silver in the 5,000, gold in the 800 metres. Alphonse of Mauritius, Susanna Scaroni, who's taken that gold over 5,000 metres and also medalled in the 800 metres, the best of fourth in 2019 in this one. Zhu Li Hong, who took gold in Dubai in 2019, also the Asian Para Games champion. De Souza will go onside her, Den Boer of Netherlands, and Jessica Frotten of Canada. Switzerland's Manuela Scher, the world record holder, set last year in Nottville in Switzerland. And they get away very quickly on the inside there. It was Frotten who did well to start with. Interesting story on Frotten. She had a wheelchair stolen from a garage in June of last year, and thankfully a company in the United States replaced it for her. It was set up for her specifications, so thankfully she could get back out on the track and racing again. But racing out in front at the moment is Manuela Scher of Switzerland, and coming up alongside her, as you'd expect, Susanna Scaroni, who's had a brilliant championship so far, and she takes up the running with 3 laps remaining, and they're quite nicely spread out at the moment.
a very organised line. No one wanted to go wide at the early stages, but we're seeing a different tactic here, going out from the front there by Scaroni. Just wanting to stay out of trouble and set the pace a little earlier, maybe not wanting the sprint that we saw in heat number 1 at the finish, because that was a far more tactical race. And you can see Scaroni just glancing up at the board ahead, and she'll be doing that to see what's happening behind her. So she'll know that she's opened up a good lead, so much so that the rest won't be able to draft and take advantage of sitting behind her. So the effort, making it more worthwhile. You don't want to just sit at the front and allow the others to see what's going on and time a final push. So it looks as though she's planning to go from the front for the whole of this race. Tough tactic, but she's going to stay out of trouble.
Well, she's a deep thinker, is Susanna Scaroni, and she said after she won gold over the 5,000 metres that her tactics worked perfectly. So she does think about things. She knows exactly what she wants to do, and she went out straight away from the beginning to try and open up a lead and then maybe try and cruise home at the last lap. But she's got a good lead at the moment of around 40 metres from the chasing pack, which has got that lady at the front, the world record holder, Manuela Scher, who took silver in that 5,000 metres, as well as winning the gold over the 800. And Zhu Li Hong, the world champion, is amongst that as well in 3rd position. Just to remind you that the top 3 go through to the final, and then after that, it'll be the test of what happens as far as the timings that go through, because it'll only be another 4 that go through to the final. And it may be vitally important as to who finishes in those lower place positions and what type of time they come up with as to whether they go through to the final, as Scaroni takes the bell and has that lead of around 50 metres at the moment. So she's looking really strong out in front, not really vexing herself too much. She's doing it rather easily and just almost like a Sunday stroll in the park, having a look up at the screen, working out where she is. Doesn't want to expend too much energy as she comes around with 200 metres to go. Scher is in 2nd place. It's Zhu of China who's in 3rd position at the moment. Zhu 9th in that 800 metres and the 1500 metres. She'll be looking for a much better performance as being the world champion in this one. So over 5,000 she wasn't great, over 800 she wasn't great. She'll be looking for something here. Knowing she's got something is that lady there, 3:23.41, Susanna Scaroni. Scher takes 2nd place, and it is Zhu Li Hong, the world champion, who comes through and takes 3rd. Disappointment there in the background there for Alphonse of Mauritius. She was slapping her wheel as she went across the line. Perhaps she thought she could do a bit better. That lady knew she was going to do better. She took it out straight away. Susanna Scaroni looks really comfortable and looks really focused at these Paralympic Games. 3:23.42 her time, winning the 2nd heat of the women's 1500 metres T54.
Well, it was an interesting move, wasn't it? And to start with, it just looked like she might have been wanting to up the pace of the whole group, but no, she wanted to go that alone. Very much her own race, her own pace, and cruising Scaroni over the finish. She did keep glancing up at the big screen, so she would have known exactly what's happening behind her and didn't want to get in a risk of a sprint finish. Maybe she didn't want to have to do a really hard 400 at the end, which could have happened if they'd all stayed together.
Well, the one thing about that is that it was a very fast heat compared to the first one, so there's a bit of difficulty here for some of the standout performers. Alphonse has set a new lifetime best, and she's also set an area record, and she's qualified to go through. The big name there to miss out almost was Madison De Rosario. Look at that, 3:36.49. She snuck in there to the final. Scaroni the fastest at the top, and the world record holder Manuela Scher in there as well with McFadden of the United States. Time for the victory ceremony of the men's 100 metres T63, and it was some race, this one. The only T42 category event athlete in the field was Anton Prokhorov. He claimed the gold medal. It was a world record for the Russian Paralympic Committee athlete.
The medals will be presented by
It was Leon Schaefer of Germany
Dr.
who
Deborah
took bronze,
Alexander, governing board
and
member,
Vinicius
International
Gonçalves
Paralympic
Rodriguez of Brazil with a Paralympic record in the T63 category, who picked up the silver.
accompanied by Mrs. Ruth
These
Leon,
dignitaries have really enjoyed themselves handing out these medals to the athletes. You hear some of the exchanges, and they're very proud to be part of this themselves and hand out such wonderful medals to such wonderful athletes.
Leon Schaefer.
So Leon Schaefer of Germany picks up the bronze medal in what was his second track final of 3 this evening. He was silver in the long jump already at these championships, so he's picked up a second medal at Tokyo 2020. Silver in 2019 at the Worlds. He's now added bronze to that at the Paralympic Games in Tokyo.
Silver medalist representing Brazil. Vinicius Gonçalves Rodriguez.
Gonçalves Rodriguez, a Paralympic record. He was only 0.01 of a second behind Prokhorov, who took the world record in his category. So a Paralympic record, breaking his own record that he set just 24 hours earlier by taking the silver. Look at those wonderful medals, the lovely indentations, the braille on them as well, and the So Mighty, the mascot for the Paralympics, along with the flower collection there as well. Something to remember for these athletes.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing RPC. Anton Prokhorov.
Anton Prokhorov, the world record, the RPC athlete. Silver in 2015, bronze in 2014 at the European Championships in Swansea. He's now picked up a gold medal and a world record in the T42 category. The RPC athlete. So Germany have taken the bronze, Brazil with the silver, and the RPC take the gold medal. As we pause for the anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Paralympic medalists.
So the strains of Pyotr Tchaikovsky's first piano concerto ring around the National Stadium in Tokyo as Anton Prokhorov picks up another medal for the RPC, who are in third position now, above the United States. That's 19 golds, 11 silvers and 31 bronze medals, puts them in third position with Great Britain and the People's Republic of China above them on the medal table. Gold for the RPC, silver for Brazil, and bronze for Germany as the athletes prepare for the photos. I say exit stage right. The German and Brazil flags in the stands are flying. On the podium just then. Wonderful to see all the fellow athletes from the countries who have got the medals handed out on the podium who come and celebrate with them. Maybe no crowds, but those with accreditation can watch on and cheer their fellow teammates and countrymen and women. She's enjoying the music as well. Well, Great Britain are in attendance and they're scheduling themselves for a medal very shortly.
Please welcome the medalists.
Men's 100 metres T64 victory ceremony. And there will be 4 people collecting medals in this. I'll explain why in just a moment or two's time as they work their way out to the podium.
The medals will be presented by
First of all, we'll have the introductions made
governing board member of the International Paralympic Committee.
for those delivering the medals and the bouquets along with the mascots.
Accompanied by Ruth Leon, technical delegate of World Para Athletics.
世界パラ陸上競技連盟技術代表
Bronze medalist representing Germany.
So 2 bronze medalists with Johannes Flors and Johnny Peacock. Flors takes his first up. 10.79, a Paralympic record for the T62 category.
Bronze medalist representing Great Britain.
While Johnny Peacock, also a bronze medalist of Great Britain, a 28-year-old in the T64 category, setting a season best. Now, 10.79 was what both of them finished with. They couldn't be separated by thousandths of a second. 0.786 is what they came in at, both of them. It couldn't be separated, so they both collect a bronze medal on behalf of Germany and Great Britain. Johannes Flors, the world champion. He does hold the T62 world record. And Johnny Peacock was the 2-time champion coming into this from London 2012 and Rio 2016.
Silver medalist representing Costa Rica.
Costa Rica have picked up their first medal of the Paralympics in Tokyo 2020. Sherman Isidro Giti, a lifetime best of 10.78 seconds, slashing 0.1 of a second off his previous lifetime best that he set this season. 24 years of age in the T64 category. Treasuring memories for life. "24 years of age, what a time ahead of him."
Paralympic champion representing Germany.
金メダリストおよびパラリンピックチャンピオンドイツ
The gold medalist from Germany, Felix Streng. He took bronze in the long jump in Rio in 2016. Also bronze in the 100 meters, so he's now got gold. 10.76. 4x100 gold in Rio as well. So he's picked up gold at 2 successive Paralympic Games. Germany's 3rd gold medal of the Paralympics. They have 3 silvers and 9 bronze to go with them as we pause for the national anthem
ドイツ国歌の演奏
of
です
Germany.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Paralympic medalists.
皆様パラリンピックメダリスト
So
です
Germany with gold, Costa Rica with silver, and a joint bronze for Germany and Great Britain. "15 medals in total now for Germany as they look to work their way up the medal table."
Men's shot put F11. We've got the result there for you. Olad of Iran, Alessandro Rodrigo da Silva of Brazil, and Oni Tapia of Italy with a personal best of 13.60. They are your gold, silver and bronze medalists. A PB also for Miroslav Madzia of Poland. F11 was a visually impaired category. And Oni Tapia was born in Cuba. And he was actually a very good baseballer before he lost his sight. Moved to Italy, and there he stayed and represents that country. Alessandro Rodrigo da Silva, 3rd at the 19 Worlds, was 10th in Rio, where he won the discus. And his 13.89 in the last round lifted him into silver medal position. But in the end, the event belonged to this man, Mahdi Olad, the 35-year-old from Tehran, won the 2019 World Championships and the Asian Para Games in 2018. With this attempt in the 5th round, out past 14 metres. In fact, he was the only thrower to breach that mark. And a 14.43 for Olad and gold. So Iran having a pretty good day at the track and field.
Yeah!
And De Silva, so many great stories, backstories that happen before they get here, and then stories of the events. They're just great to see and hear about. So we have... oh, there's one who's staying up a little late. Let's take you to the victory ceremony for the men's shot put F11. Out they'll come. Just the top 4 competitors getting past 13 metres in this competition.
The medals will be presented by
メダルの贈呈は
Dr. Deborah Alexander, Governing Board Member of the International Paralympic Committee.
国際パラリンピック委員会理事
Accompanied by
続きまして
Ruth Leon, Technical Delegate of World Para Athletics.
世界パラ陸上競技連盟技術代表
Bronze medalist representing Italy,
銅メダリストイタリア
Oni Tapia.
Well, Tapia, mentioned briefly his story, originally from Cuba and was a baseball pitcher, took up a contract in Italy. He started to lose his sight. He settled in Italy and he was 9th in Rio in this. PB of 13.37, so he beat that today with a 13.60 to get the bronze medal. Doesn't look 45 years of age. What a fit, strong man.
Silver medalist representing Brazil,
銀メダリストブラジル
Alessandro Rodrigo de Silva.
And De Silva, 37 years young. 3rd at the World Championships 2 years ago. Was 10th in Rio, but did win the discus. He's a 2-time discus world champion, actually. But in the shot put today, a silver medalist with a 13.89 throw.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion representing Islamic Republic of Iran.
金メダリストおよびパラリンピックチャンピオンイラン・イスラム共和国
Mardi Olad, 14.43 in the 5th round. Well, he was just too good for the field. He wasn't the early leader, at least not in the 1st round, but in the 2nd, a 14.12, then 14.01, 14.40 and 14.43. Well, he was too consistent and too long. Islamic Republic of Iran picks up another gold through this man, 35-year-old. World champion 2 years ago, and now Paralympic champion.
Anthem of Islamic Republic of Iran.
皆様イラン・イスラム共和国国歌の演奏です
「
Gold for Mari Olad, silver for Alessandro Rodrigo da Silva, and Oni Tapia of Italy, the bronze. Well, tempering these celebrations, some sad news today that the former IOC president, Jacques Rogge, has passed away. Flags within the stadium have been flying at half-mast today. He was the 8th president of the IOC from 2001 to 2013, and our thoughts are certainly with his family. He's a wonderful man and a big fan of sports and a very accomplished sailor and rugby player. It's my great privilege to meet him a couple of times, and a very impressive man. So it's a sad day. For these men, though, they'll be thinking more about what they've just achieved.
Congratulations to Elizabeth Rodrigues Gomez of Brazil.
As we just about draw the session to a close. Hope you've enjoyed it. It's been another exciting, thrilling one with records left, right and centre getting smashed by these wonderful athletes. Might not have been able to travel much for sport in the last 18 months, but they have obviously been training very hard because the performances are just amazing.
Turning 27 today with a bronze medal to match the bronze medals he won in Rio in 2016. Ladies and gentlemen,
Men's discus F52. Now, this was the event that was in dispute, or at least the bronze medal was, and I think we can now reveal the outcome of that inquiry about third place. There's been a change. So Peter Kostvich of Poland
the medals will be presented by
and Velimir Sandor,
Dr. Deborah Alexander,
and man promoted to third position, Aigaz Pines of Latvia.
accompanied by
And that means that
Mrs. Ruth Leon, technical
the
delegate
Indian
of World Paralympics.
competitor whose classification was in dispute has missed out on the bronze.
Bronze medalist representing Latvia,
銅メダリストラトビア
Aigaz Apinis.
Yes, it was Vinod Kumar who was initially given third place. His classification was re-examined, and after a lengthy process, it's the Latvian who's been promoted into third position. He threw 1954 in the third round.
Silver medalist representing Croatia,
銀メダリストクロアチア
Velimir Sandor.
And Sandor, 35-year-old from Croatia. He was third in Rio, so a lift of one position. Says one day he'd like to do organic farming, enjoy life in the country. Well, if he thinks he's achieved all he wants to in sport, maybe that dream is a little closer. A 19 meters 98 throw in the fifth round for Sandor.
Gold medalist and Paralympic champion,
representing Poland.
金メダリストおよびパラリンピックチャンピオンポーランド
Piotr Kozowicz.
Piotr Kozowicz through 20:02 in the second round. Not a threat to the world record owned by Andre Roca of Brazil. That was set 4 years ago. Paralympic record has actually stood since 2012. The Latvian Ines owns that. The bronze medalist today.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Poland.
皆様ポーランド国歌の演奏です
And Poland with 3 gold, 3 silver and 7 bronze after that success for Piotr Kozowicz. Sandor the silver for Croatia, and as mentioned, Agars Apnes has been promoted to bronze after removal from that position of Vinod Kumar of India. So a rare moment of controversy really in these games that have been bubbling along quite smoothly. Something of a bonus victory ceremony. We weren't quite sure when that was going to happen. It was postponed and could have happened earlier in the evening, but perhaps it took that long to get it sorted. We certainly had a message on our screens for a long time that it was still being sorted, the classification clarification. So I might bump those two words next to each other. Certainly bad luck for Vinod Kumar, who was classified just 5 days ago, but there was something not quite right.
So that concludes the action on day 4 at the National Stadium in the athletics program of Tokyo 2020 Paralympics. It's been another wonderful day's sport. The ingredients seem to be perfect stadium, great competition services, great job by the officials and all the volunteers, excellent support from the team staff, and the athletes in particular have been absolutely superhuman.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem.
Just a reflection on the men's javelin throw, F64, won by Sumit with a world record throw for his classification, and Michael Burian of Australia for the F44s, also a world record, and Korathawaku of Sri Lanka, the bronze and a personal best of 65.61. And Sumit was unbelievable. Throwing a new world record with his first throw.
The medals will be presented by
a 65-61 for Kotafawaku. And he would finish in third position. Second to Michael Burian. Was always around the medals, and then with his final throw, a 66.29, his best ever, and a new mark for the F44 category. Now here he is, Sumit, broke the world record with his first throw, kept improving on it, and then with his fifth, went further again, 68.55. His previous world record was 62.88. How can that be? It just is. And we've seen it again and again. The javelins are just about flying out of the stadium. That is a big improvement on the old world record. The women's discus, F53.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the men's discus throw F52.
Rodriguez Gomez, a world record of 17.62. And Ovzi of Ukraine is 14.37. Yana Lebedieva was well in this, deep into the competition. Lebedieva. 15.48 with the last throw, and she would finish in second position. Now, Elizabeth Rodriguez Gomez. Lots of emotion there.
Please welcome the medalists.
Needed something with the last throw and found it. A new world record of 17.62. Elizabeth Rodriguez Gomez, 56-year-old from Brazil. And it's all a bit too much in the end. She won the 2019 World Championships with 16.89, but that's 17.62. She actually played wheelchair basketball in Beijing in 2008.
Dr. Deborah Alexander, governing board member of the International Paralympic Committee.
The oldest thrower in the field and the best.
Accompanied by...
If she chooses to go out now, what a way to do it. What a career. Lebedieva, the silver medal, and 15.48. Zoya Ovsi of Ukraine, third. So Ukraine second and third, behind Rodriguez Gomez.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem.
Pra você, minha treinadora, Luciane Farias. Gratidão por tudo, gratidão.
Still a bit too much as she gets the obligatory photo next to the scoreboard. another flood of fantastic performances at the National Stadium, tinged with sadness, the news of the passing of Jacques Rogge. But as the world records continue to fall on the track and in the field, we'd invite you to join us again. There's so much more to come. Thanks for your company, and we thank the athletes for their speed, their strength and their spirit. Do join us again. Goodbye for now, though, from the National Stadium in Tokyo.